Hello, fine people of the internet. It's your favorite abandoned warehouse Sarah here with another car review. Today I have Baby Godzilla. It's a 2020 Infiniti Q60S Red Sport. It is loosely based on the same engine that is found in the Nissan GT-R, which I will nerd out on in a bit. And it's all-wheel drive. I like this little snout right here on the top of the front bumper cover. I swear when they designed this thing, they had a large lizard in mind. I mean, look at the eyeballs. It's a good looking car, definitely. Now this has a couple grand in carbon fiber accessories. Over here by the fog lights, you can see there's a little ridge, as well as carbon fiber mirror caps, which are super pretty, FYI. And these vents on the front fender are covered in carbon fiber, as well as the rear spoiler. These are an optional 20-inch wheel wrapped in Bridgestone Potenza RE97 All Seasons. And the front brakes are a 4-pot caliper with a 14-inch rotor. The rear are a 2-pot caliper with a 13.8-inch rotor, which is the same specs as the Akebono brakes that come on the Nissan 370Z. Akebono, it's a fun word. This is a really creative way to incorporate a splash guard into the design of the car. It doesn't look out of place, it just kind of flows like a piece of functional aero. Infiniti absolutely nailed it with the design of the Q60. I know it's been out for a couple years now, but I just don't get sick of looking at this car. I love the taillights, how they're done that darker smoked red with the LED illuminating part around the outside, and the fact that they hide the popper for the trunk lid inside the driver's side taillight. This does have an optional Infiniti performance exhaust system, which is dead on perfect. It's not too loud, not too quiet, doesn't drone whatsoever. It sounds good on decel. I'll demonstrate a little bit in the video. I love the body lines, how they flow through the rear quarter panels right here and the weird zigzag on the back of the window. This car is available in both all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. So I'm curious, for those of you watching who are actually into this thing, which one would you prefer and why? Let me know in the comment section below. I have super sweaty pits right now, but you can't see because my arm's pressed to the side of my body. Moving on to the interior, you guys know I do my reviews. No reading off brochures here, just gonna give it to you real how it's like to sit inside this Q60. Starting with, of course, the sitting part. I mean, I got to. That's how I always start these. Bolstering. It's a tight test. This isn't even necessary. Nobody on the internet wants to see this. It's got a little bit of bolster there, a little bit. It's a comfortable seat though. It's heated, but it is not cooled or ventilated. That's a little plastic caperdoodle. The passenger side dash area kind of reminds me of the SN95 Mustangs, the way it just kind of like wraps around a little bit. Yeah, you see it? A little bit. And it does have a strong Nissan Infiniti vibe to the look of it because this is an Infiniti. It has a little ashtray in front of the shifter. It's kind of retro looking, older styling. I guess it could use an update in here, but it's not a bad looking car on the inside by any means. It's super nice in here. Center of the steering wheel is kind of tiny where the airbag is. I like that. And it does have this dark brushed aluminum plastic area below that looks like the sword from Halo. I haven't played that game in so long, I don't even remember what it looks like. So if you're anything over 5'6", the back seat is probably a hard no. The paddle shifters, I can't tell if that's metal, I think it's plastic. Behind the steering wheel are also done in the same finish. This one does have a sunroof, which I wish there was an option to delete it and have a carbon fiber roof. I know that would add price to the car, but it would at least shave the weight down just a tad, possibly. The center console does not house any penguins, but it does have a USB and a USB-C charge port inside there, as well as a little recessed button to control the ambient lights. It's lined in like a really soft, flocked velvet. Okay, well, time to get out of here. No, don't go back. No, All right, let's fire this thing up. This sounds so good too, especially the cold start, sounds good. Put down the window here so you can hear this thing. I'm gonna put down both windows, it's that good. It's that good. It's an unmistakably Nissan exhaust note. The gauges on here are fairly simple. They're analog on the sides. You got a little digital display in the center. You can scroll through all your safety features and whatnot. The infotainment system does have fruit and robot compatibility as standard for 2020. Yay, there's my one moment of traditional car view. And the nav screen up above, it is touchscreen. It's not bad looking, but it also has a weird little knob dongle here in the center to control it. I don't know why you need that if it's touchscreen, but it's not bad looking. See, if this is the rear wheel drive model, I'd want to do some silliness with getting sideways in here, but it's the all-wheel drive model, so just want to launch this thing. In the name of science, I'm gonna give this thing the beans. I'm gonna leave it in automatic mode. I'm not gonna use the manual mode. I think the computer's smarter than I am. And I'm going to disable traction control and make sure this thing is in drive mode Sport Plus. I'm not gonna give it any assistance on the launch. It does not have a launch control, and I don't want to grenade this transmission. So, ready, set, go. Ooh, there it goes. Oh my God, it hesitates for a second. Whew. If only you could launch this car. Okay, that's good enough. Oh, that's really good enough. What it's claimed on paper. It feels faster, at least. This car is f***ing quick. That's a weird sounding hood pop. Oh, that's rad. It has water to air charge coolers. That's probably why I was feeling so much heat soak. They're literally right on top of the engine. There's no room for a strut tower brace, that's for sure. Oh, I see the turbo down there. Oh, integrated exhaust manifolds too. Hello, welcome to Garage Science with Sarah. I have never been more excited about having something in my garage than this thing right here. Powering the Q60 Red Sport is a VR30 DDTT. What that means is an all aluminum 3-liter twin turbo V6 that has an 86mm bore and stroke, and it utilizes twin water to air charge coolers. It has integrated exhaust manifolds into the head, and the little itty bitty turbos on here have billet compressor wheels. This engine is all sorts of stuff to nerd out over. Holy radiator cap collection, look at all these things. It produces 400 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 350 pound-feet of torque from 1,600 all the way up to 5,200 RPM. That's like the entire rev range for the most part. It is crazy. I'm such a fan of this engine. It's time for the braking test. I know this one's gonna hurt. No one behind me? Ready? Holy shit. These brakes are winning. These brakes are amazing. This is one area they can just keep part binning for another decade or so because these brakes are on point. Even for the thing weighing 4,000 pounds, it has no issues stopping this car. Hello, I'm back. The drivetrain in this just over 4,000 pound all-wheel drive Q60 is a Jatco-sourced 7-speed automatic transmission. I didn't really mind that gearbox when it was paired to the Nissan 370Z, but behind this VR30 DDTT in the Q60, it just feels a little bit off. Don't get me wrong, I thoroughly enjoy driving this car, but I feel like maybe it's a tuning issue or some torque management software that's limiting this thing's capabilities down low, especially from a dig. Luckily though, I was browsing the Google and I actually found a shop, Concept Z Performance, that actually performed a 6-speed manual swap in one of these. Yeah, so I see massive tuning potential with this platform. I can only imagine what it would be capable of. I don't think so, navigation. This road's definitely paved. Looks like it's been paved for a long time. Navigation's a little out of date, I think, with its research on road surfaces. You can hear the turbos spooling up when I get on it. Sounds so good. God, this thing sounds incredible. Ooh, yep, I like these brakes a lot. This thing, no shit, is like a little baby GTR. A little bit of rotation in the back end right there. Oh my God, the grip, dude. Ooh, brakes. Good brakes, really good brakes. Oh my God, this car is fire. This car is on point. Suspension does a good job on uneven, harsh terrain. It's keeping the car planted, doesn't feel unstable whatsoever. This would be a fun car on a track, especially something like the Nordschleife. Transmission doesn't do bad under aggressive driving. Every once in a while, I'm kind of like, all right, downshift, give me some beans, but it's not terrible. I think where it really lacks though is when you're just cruising around town and you just want little tiny bits of performance here or there. It kind of gets confused and doesn't know what it wants to do. I get that Infiniti is pricing this car to compete against its European rivals like BMW, Mercedes, and Audi, but I don't think that's a smart move because it detracts from how good this car is. It does have some flaws, and those flaws are what make me think it's just not as good of value as those European brands. But it doesn't mean this car isn't awesome though. I still love driving this thing. I just see it priced like 10 to 15 grand cheaper. If it was in the high 40s, low 50s with everything you have here, I think it would be phenomenal value, and I think they'd sell a lot more of these. As far as driving for normal people goes, it's totally a car you could daily. You could have this as your only car. There's enough room in the trunk to haul like groceries and stuff. If you have a big family, then use common sense. Obviously, you couldn't daily this thing. The fuel economy is about as you'd expect in a car like this. I've been averaging a little over 20 miles per gallon, and that's pretty heavy on the throttle, so it's not too bad. It's comfy. It's got enough features in here, nothing over the top. Price is just a little high, I think, but other than that, I like this car a lot. Like a lot. If you guys have never seen one of my car reviews before, I have multiple categories to rate and assess them, starting with the famous bean score. It has a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on the feeling you get inside your gut when you give it the beans. And this Q60S Red Sport is getting a rating of 2.8 beans. I had to think of how many fingers that was. I feel this car is worthy of a 3 bean rating if the transmission was capable of doing a harder launch. Right down low, it feels kind of weird, and that just limits this thing's ability. I feel it could be a lot faster than it really is with a different gearbox. Next is the cookie score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 cookies based on what you get for what you spend. And this car right here is getting a rating of 2.4 cookies. It's a little bit below average of a score because I just don't see $65,000 worth of car here. The performance is on point, but I can't see spending more for this than a Supra. Lastly is the Penguin score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 penguins based on how much I personally like a vehicle. And this Q60 Red Sport is getting a rating of 4.1 penguin. If you're into modifying cars, I think this is the perfect tuner platform when they become used and significantly cheaper. And I think this powertrain is a good indication of how amazing the new Nissan 400Z is going to be when it comes out. Cannot wait for that car. I think it's going to be a true competitor for the Supra. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another. Bye.